This is my expense log. It's nothing special. I did this on Excel. If you saw I think I showed this last time for the folks that were here. I do the same thing for the rental properties versus the flips. It's just a way to keep track very easily. So if today I paid the roofer, I would actually put his name there. Start job. I gave him check number 123 for $3,000. And then today I also paid whatever, maybe the electric bill and the plumber and the demolition crew, whatever. And you're gonna have like 6 months worth of list. So you'll have a bunch of line items here. And then at the bottom, it just tallies it up, so you know right at the end exactly what you spent. And I mean, this spreadsheet is nothing special. Probably most of you can create this in 10 seconds. There's only one calculation. It's this bottom one right here. The rest of it you just fill in each time you do something. So at any given time, I can tell you exactly what I've spent to date on any property. And then I also have my budget in line. So I know, like, okay, if I paid the roofer $3,000, my other paper says the job's $6,000, I still owe him $3,000. So I can tell you, minus anything, any surprises, and the unknown, like how much is my water bill going to be, I can tell you exactly what I've paid and exactly what I got left on any property. Now, of course, there's going to be surprises, unfortunately, and that's every time I write a check, I put it right on there. So at the end, you know, if I've spent $100,000 and I get a check for 120, I go, okay, $20,000, good. It's not, you know, terribly difficult. When you're doing the renovations, that's why all these properties, they're all houses I've directly sold. You want to make them stand out. You want the most beautiful, the gorgeous, the house that everyone wants to live in that neighborhood. Because most neighborhoods, with a few exceptions, in Pittsburgh the exception is Lawrenceville, East Liberty, where everything is being redone because everything's 80 years old and everything's redone now. Most suburban neighborhoods, or working class city neighborhoods, the average house on the market's not 100% updated. I'll use the terminology grandma's house, where, you know, everything works, it's meticulous, but it's all 30 years old. Or there's average person selling their family house that maybe they updated the kitchen 12 years ago, and 3 years ago they got new windows, and last month they replaced the water heater. You know, that's a pretty normal scenario. They're all great houses, they're all well kept, everything works. But yours that you bought with that Mayo formula, you fixed everything. It's gorgeous. It blows everything out of the water. Usually, if there's a husband and wife or a female involved in the purchase, they're usually the decision maker. So it's kitchens and bathrooms. You know, for the most part, there's not much you can do to dress up the dining room. You know, you put a nice chandelier and you pick a nice color on paint. That's pretty much it. But the kitchen and bathroom is where you can work your magic. Finished basements go a long way, things like that. But the money you want to spend is in the kitchen and bathroom. So you want to make your house, so if your house and those other 2 or 3 comps that look just like yours are the same bedroom, bathroom, size, shape, within a half-mile radius, sold in the last 6 months, if you put them all next to each other and priced them all the same, because they're all the comps, they should all be priced about the same. Yours may be a little higher because it's nicer. You should be able to walk through them, and whoever the buyers are, husband, wife, single guy, single girl, whatever. Hey, there's a lot of houses for sale. What made it this the one you decided on? It's a single girl, 30-some years old. I'm like, that's the bathroom. She goes, oh, I really like the kitchen. I'm like, Spent all that money in the bathroom or in the bathroom. She liked the kitchen. Now the kitchen was nice too, but this is the kind of cool stuff. And then the third floor again, nothing special. Carpet, paint. I think this whole renovation we might have spent like $60K. So bought a house for $50, put $65 into it, and it sold for $235, I think. So you can see when you get the right deals, those numbers work all day long, even at 15% interest. So that was a little powder room downstairs, a little courtyard. That's the city. So I mean, on-street parking, everyone's falling over each other to find a parking space. Pretty typical of probably fighting for parking around here. So that's kind of like what a city house would look like. Here, this is the house that I lost $21,000 on. Looks pretty decent. Sliding glass door, 3/4 of an acre, private lot, finished basement. Looks great, right? Well, here's the lesson I learned. There's nothing wrong with the house, nothing wrong with the numbers, nothing wrong with the contractor, nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with my value. Since this house, I've always Googled the street address before I buy it. Why, you might ask? Well, in that living room, that big window to the right of the front porch is the living room. About a year prior, someone was murdered in that room. And I did not know that. So I Googled the street address, and it like a million ads popped. News articles just popped right up. So again, losing 20, and everyone was afraid of it. It was a small little town. Everyone was afraid of the haunted house. The one guy that didn't care about the history knew he had me. I knew I had to sell it. Game, set, match. It's over. So it sounds ridiculous, but that's the kind of things that can happen. Last one I'll show you is another one I did. I got some before pictures we can cruise through. This was a big old project. It was like a $150,000 renovation.
Where's it at?
This is actually in Highland Park.
Yeah.
But this kind of fits like what you might do in the suburbs feel too, because it's more of a traditional neighborhood. It's not trendy. It's just, I use the word classic. It's just popular, average, old neighborhood. I don't know anything there. So old Victorian, as you can see, it wasn't upkept. Things falling apart. Things not kept up. 2 electric meters illegally converted into a duplex. You see that all the time in the old city, big houses. Some of them you'll see 2, 3, 4 electric meters outside. A lot of times they don't have permits for that, so it's a big fire trap.
Why is that illegal?
It's not permanent. There's nothing wrong with it if you go to the city and if you get your permits and if you get your inspections. But oftentimes what happened was, especially before the city of Pittsburgh became rejuvenated, in the 70s and the 80s, the kids were adults, but they didn't move out of the house because the economy wasn't that great in Pittsburgh. So mom and dad are getting a little older. They say, hey, we got that back room. We'll make that a bathroom. The living room will make, or the dining room will make our living room, and the living room will make our bedroom, and we already got a kitchen. Upstairs, we got 3 bedrooms. Well, the kid only needs 1 for his room. There's already a bathroom up there, but we need a kitchen, so we'll take the other bedroom and make it a kitchen. This thing had 3 kitchens. Every one of them was more hideous than the next. And they roughly separate the electric. I mean, I found, the house we're doing right now in Edgewood, I found lamp cords in the wall running electric. So people do stupid things. And keep in mind, this house is over 100 years old, so you have 100 years of people doing stupid things. Basement, I mean, it is what it is in the basement. That hot water tank's the only thing we kept in the house. That was new. Everything else went. See, 2 electric, old, that was probably done in the 50s or 60s. So that was their dining room that they made their living room. That was the living room they made their bedroom. That was the view. So this pocket doors used to be between the living room and dining room. Hardwood floors. Here comes the money truck. Now, right there.
Oh.
That's what you want to see.
Ew.
I don't understand how people do that. Everything's old. The kitchen, second kitchen, going upstairs. So you can see this house at one time was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Look how much smoking they did. See the blinds? How the top, like maybe 6 inches is white? That's how many years those blinds didn't move and how much smoking there was in that house. Backyard, nice little city yard.
Mm-hmm.
Another very high-end bathroom. Look at that. Look at that blind. Imagine how much nicotine's on that thing. No wonder they passed away. That's a non-smoke, don't smoke ad if I ever see it. Roof. I mean, so, I mean, you can cruise through the ugly picture after ugly picture after ugly picture.
It's a huge house.
You get the idea. So, how do we renovate this thing? Well, first of all, there's nothing salvageable. Got it. It's going to cost a pretty penny to gut this thing. You're probably doing a $7,000 project just to get all the crap out. Everything got to go. The old plumbing, the wiring's all bad. It's all old. It's unsafe. Everything goes. Now, with this old house, you probably saw in the pictures, they had the really cool, nice, old, big trim. It's like this high around the baseboards. You can't buy that stuff now, or if you do, you spend a fortune. So this one, I did pay the contractor to take it off, like window by window, room by room, tape the trim, label it, keep it, reuse it, back in the house. Because again, you want the old stuff in this house. If this was down in the heart of lower Lawrenceville, they don't really want that. They want the more modern, like square molding. So know your market. Big pocket doors, I donated those to someone else because we weren't going to use them anymore. They were buried in the wall. Each one of those doors was 5 feet wide. They weighed a ton. Everything gets gutted. Good old asbestos tile. So open concept, that's just a temporary wall to hold up the house so it doesn't fall in while you redo the... So we took everything. All the walls on the first floor go. There, you can see those LVL. So that's if you're doing structural stuff. This thing is structural steel that goes all the way to the basement. We built had to dig up the floor and put a footer in, and then these are the structural beams. I have houses with steel in them, with wood, with all that stuff. So the structural engineer scopes that stuff out. So we're making the whole thing open concept on the first floor.
Wow.
This is the second floor, so I mean nothing was kept. Third floor, nothing. And we opened up some of the third floor too, to make it like a finished room up top. So
was that a random path though?
Yes, it was on the third floor bathroom, and you'll see in the next set of pictures we reused it in the master. Because again, the cool old clawfoot tub, it works in some houses, not others. So people. That thing's worth some bucks these days. Unfortunately, I've thrown a few away years ago. Now we keep those things and refinish them. Or resell them to someone else who could use them rather than just pitching them or recycling them. This was a couple bedrooms, and we made it one big open third floor. Instead of a finished basement, it had a finished third floor. So you can see here the temporary walls are gone. There's the bathtub, drywall, 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 drywall. 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 And be prepared for the unknown. This room is the back porch. In the pictures before it was where the kitchen was, they had paneling on the walls. We assumed there was, walls behind there. We tore the paneling off. There's just windows. There was no structure. So we had to restructure that whole porch. So when you're estimating your repairs, I'll call it a fudge factor or an unknown. It's the general rule of thumb is take about 3 or 4% at least of your overall budget for the unknowns. In this house we probably had a $5,000 or $6,000 unknown, and that ate up a few grand of it right there. If you take the paneling down, there's nothing. It used to be a porch, and they just stuck walls on it, and they just nailed into the frames of the windows the paneling so it would stay up.
That's probably good for heat and.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's the bathtub going to its new home in the master suite. kept the front door, so I lied. We kept the water tank in the front door. Coming together, kitchen, more with all the pictures. Oh, shoot, they get the finished ones. So that ugly ass house, we kept some of the colors and redid everything else. I mean, the roof, the trim, the windows, the whole shebang. You see, it was listed with a realtor. Put a deck on the back to make it a little more, entertainment area, because you don't want to put the grill and stuff in the yard, so you had the deck there. Add some color. So, and the outside we didn't change a whole lot. We just cleaned it all up and made it new. That's the room that had those blinds in it that had the nicotine all over it. So again, in the bedrooms, you're not spending a whole bunch of money. We put new drywall up and we painted it and put a nice carpet. Nothing too crazy.
The trim looks really good though.
What's that?
The trim looks
Yeah, we
really
reused
good.
the trim. Yeah,
That's
now
nice.
the trim didn't all go back because when you take down all those walls, the trim worked with all that lath and plaster when you have drywall. So we didn't get to use it in all the rooms. So we had to pick and choose. We did the first floor and then cut. But yeah, that's all salvage trim.
But you could see how a buyer would definitely, I personally am not that into it, but I could definitely see the
Right.
kind of person that's getting that.
But the new, like a modern thing might be your speed with the floating vanity and stuff like that. That is, the more contemporary stuff. But this is more classic. So you're probably not even looking at this house. You're
I
interested
want it
in
all
like
metal. It has
yeah.
to be all metal.
all metal. Yeah, so you're looking at Lawrenceville, East Liberty, not Highland Park. So that's where again you need to know your market.
But if I were redoing that based on my preference, I wouldn't have any buyers.
Right, you'd still be owning this thing. So that's why again when you're flipping, rule number one is no one cares what you like. You care what the masses like. This is the first floor, so right where that thermostat is, there used to be those pocket doors.
What'd you do with the fireplace? Is it usable on some floors or? Not?
None of it was. They weren't ever working fireplaces, or at least not in any time in modern history. So what I normally do with the fireplaces is most of the time when these old dilapidated houses, the chimneys up like outside are usually just as bad. So when we do a roof, it's a lot cheaper just to tear the chimney down than repoint it and fix the brick and put a new cap on it and all that stuff. So in this house, we kept the back chimney because it was good and the hot water tank was still venting through it. But we put a new furnace in, so the other chimney was no longer used for any kind of ventilation. And it was this one right here, and it was just decorative. So the chimney served zero purpose. It would have cost $500, $600, $700 to fix it. So we got rid of it. Just brought it down, plywooded it over. And it's less things I get rid of as many chimneys as possible because they're nothing but a point where they can leak. And it's a maintenance issue, and if they're in bad shape, let's face it, a storm could bring them down onto the neighbor's house or onto somebody. So I take them down whenever possible. So 99% of the time, fireplaces that I've worked on, they've been just decorative, so it didn't matter. So we didn't do anything with them. That one we boarded off because that was actually, I think, tiled. The picture's just not very clear. And here we painted the inside and put a new hearth on it because the hearth was all broken. But it's purely decoration. It doesn't have any function. Kitchen.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
Yeah, so it was all open concept, but keeping French country kitchen color, farmer's sink, things that will appeal to a family that wants the open concept, but B likes the more
traditional feel.
classic Victorian look. But it has to have nice amenities. There was the main kitchen sink. And then that little corner of the wet bar with the wine fridge, things like that. Tile backsplash. So you still have to have it look cool, and it still has to be very functional and high-end looking, but it can accomplish that without necessarily having all the newest, hippest stuff. So, that's pretty nice for entertaining right there. That was that little patio room that was filled with windows.
That's nice.
What?
That's a money shot right there.
Yeah. The bathroom that was gutted, that was that blue bathroom. The other thing I do in a bathroom is get rid of windows, because windows and showers, You know, water collects there, it could be a rotting area or a leaking point. So I eliminate windows and showers if at all possible. So this was that hideous blue bathroom. Again, just pretty basic. I mean, we didn't spend any kind of special money on this tile. It's just very nice. This is the master. So we took this house had like 7 or 8 bedrooms. We took one of the small bedrooms, which they had converted to a kitchen on the second floor, and made it into the master suite. So we had double bowl sink, stand-in shower. That's the master bedroom itself. I have more pictures of that clawfoot tub in a few minutes. So these are just all the rooms. That's the third floor, just a little powder room. And then we got rid of like 2 bedrooms on the third floor and made this big. So instead of a finished basement, which the basement was a little short and kind of weird, so we took the third floor because, let's face it, not many families need 6 bedrooms these days. So we still gave them a 4-bedroom house with a finished third floor game room. Same thing, decorative fireplace. That little thing in the corner is a air conditioner / furnace. It looks like a window unit, but it actually is heating and cooling because the third floor is kind of tough to get temperature control from the thermostat on the first floor. So we added heating and cooling. Third floor going downstairs, made it more open. So, you know, that used to be big walls everywhere. There was like a grouping of like 6 doors going in bedrooms, closets, bathrooms, and downstairs. So we opened it all up so it looked a lot better. She also owns a staging company. So she works with many, many other realtors out there and stages houses. And as one of the perks of listing with her, I get it staged for free. As any of her people that list with her get it staged for free. So I don't get anything special there. Yeah. You know, some of the rooms used to meet and stuff like that. It would have cost an obscene amount of money to tear up the flooring, level all the joists, and put it back down. It would have